Imagine being 15, catapulted into global stardom, and finding yourself at exclusive parties hosted by one of the most powerful and charismatic figures in hip-hop. For Justin Bieber, this wasn't a fantasy. It was his introduction to fame. But, as the spotlight grew brighter, so did the shadows lurking behind it. Years later, these once innocent associations with Diddy Combs are being viewed under a much harsher light. What began as mentorship now raises questions about manipulation, control, and the cost of fame on young artists. Most people don't know that child celebrities are statistically more likely to struggle with mental illness in adulthood than the general population. A major study from the Journal of Adolescent Health confirmed this. Why? Because early fame disrupts normal development. Imagine growing up under constant scrutiny, with your self-worth tied to public opinion. Add the pressure of performing, maintaining an image, and staying relevant. And it's a recipe for psychological strain. Justin Bieber's life has been a prime example of this reality. In 2009, when Justin was just beginning to make waves with his breakout hit, Baby, videos emerged of him hanging out with Diddy. In one now infamous clip, Diddy jokingly said he had custody of Bieber for 48 hours. At the time it seemed funny, maybe even flattering. After all, Diddy was a music mogul. What could go wrong? Now, that moment feels eerie. Recent legal accusations and investigations into Diddy have made people revisit that footage with new eyes, and the undertone no longer feels innocent. Was it really just mentorship, or was it something darker? As the allegations against Diddy gained momentum in 2023 and 2024, including lawsuits involving coercion, assault, and exploitation, a growing number of celebrities began distancing themselves. Justin Bieber made quiet, deliberate moves. He unfollowed Usher, the artist who had helped launch his career and was closely tied to Diddy. He also cut ties with his longtime manager, Scooter Braun. These weren't random decisions. Insiders say Bieber was disgusted as more information surfaced and wanted to step away from anything that even resembled complicity. It wasn't just about optics. There seemed to be genuine emotional fallout. Bieber has always been somewhat candid about his mental health. He's spoken openly about depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. In the years following his meteoric rise, he exhibited increasingly erratic behavior, from storming off stage mid-performance to social media tirades and canceled tours. Many believed it was burnout, but deeper layers were likely at play. Fame had robbed him of a normal adolescence, and now, facing the realities of the people who had surrounded him in those early years, he seemed to be hitting an emotional wall again. While Bieber hasn't spoken publicly about Diddy or the unfolding cases, sources close to him say he's been in therapy, spending time with his wife Haley, and trying to prioritize his mental health. He's reportedly frustrated, not just by what happened, but by the fact that people expect him to comment on things he might not be ready to process himself. And honestly, that makes sense. When your past is suddenly reframed as part of someone else's sinister story, it's hard to know what to say. The bigger story here isn't just about Justin Bieber. It's about how the entertainment industry creates a culture of silence. Fame is intoxicating. For young artists, powerful mentors like Diddy offer access, protection, and guidance, but also control. And when those mentors are later accused of serious wrongdoing, what happens to the people they brought into the fold? What happens to the young, impressionable stars who were just trying to succeed? There's a long history of powerful men in entertainment being protected, while the people around them suffer the consequences. As the lawsuits pile up and investigations deepen, the industry is facing a reckoning. Bieber's quiet retreat could be seen as self-preservation, or even quiet resistance. By walking away from people and power structures that no longer align with his values, he's rewriting his own narrative. He's no longer the wide-eyed teen swept up in someone else's empire. He's a man trying to make sense of it all, and trying to heal. And maybe that's the most powerful thing he can do right now. Justin Bieber's story, when looked at through this lens, is more than just celebrity drama. It's about the cost of being famous too young. It's about how predators and abusers can hide behind charisma and influence. And it's about what happens when those who were once protected by the system finally face consequences. But it's also about survival. Bieber has made mistakes, sure, but he's also shown resilience. In a world where so many child stars spiral out completely, he's still standing, still creating, still trying to evolve. In the glittering, chaotic world of celebrity, not everything that sparkles is gold. The stories that make the headlines, Bieber's silence, Diddy's downfall, are just the surface. Underneath, there's a deeper, more human story playing out. It's about power, trauma, accountability, and the long, difficult journey of growing up in the public eye. And in the end, maybe the lesson isn't just about celebrity. Maybe it's about us. Why are we so obsessed with stars? Why do we romanticize fame when it so often breaks the people who live it? Justin Bieber's evolution is a mirror, not just to the industry, but to ourselves. Maybe it's time we stop looking at celebrities as untouchable icons and start seeing them as what they really are. People. Flawed, vulnerable, sometimes complicit, but also capable of growth, redemption, and hopefully, healing. In a small village, a cat named Whiskers discovered a magic fish in a pond. The fish promised 3 wishes in exchange for its freedom. Whiskers wished for endless fish, a cozy bed, and a bell that rang softly. The fish granted all 3 wishes and swam away.